been a slow first week back, but we hope you've had a good one.
And had an even better spring break. Did you have a good break, Gabby?
Yeah, I went ice skating. What did you do?
I really just stayed home with the friends and hung out. But we're back and ready to work hard to finish the school year on a good note.
Speaking of good notes.
A couple of years ago, there was an unfortunate accident in which a CCHS greenhouse burned down. It was recently rebuilt with the generous help of corporate sponsors, and this afternoon at 2 is the ribbon cutting ceremony for the community. Saturday from 10 to 2 will be the grand opening for the public. There's going to be door prizes every hour, plant sales, and more. So make sure you stop by and check things out.
We also want to congratulate the Calloway FFA chapter, who recently blew away the competition at the Region 1 contest. There were 15 regional champions and 11 regional runners-up. For the first time in recent memory, the chapter boasted the winner of the FFA talent contest as well. Calloway County High School had more students qualify for state than any other school in the region. Congrats, FFA.
Some of our current CCHS students are now registered voters. Yesterday, the Student Council sponsored a voter registration drive during the lunch periods, and several of you took the advantage of that opportunity.
It's really exciting because, it's finally to the point where we can kind of share our opinions. And I think it'll be really interesting to see how these next state elections go. So hopefully, I'm excited to be able to vote, and hopefully everybody signs up to vote.
Catherine Foster was one of several Lakers who took time out of their lunch period to become an active part of our nation's political process. In fact, over 100 students completed the registration form on Thursday and are now ready for the voting booth.
I'm definitely excited for the governor election, and then, it'll be interesting to see what happens in 2020.
In Kentucky, you can vote if you're at least 18 years old, or will be by the date of the next general election. In addition to that, if you will be 18 years old by the November general election, you are also eligible to vote in the upcoming May primary election. And if you don't know what any of that means, well, you should have been paying attention in social studies class.
Congratulations to the CCA
Todd's a great
team
guy.
for making.
I mean,
welcome to the Weird News.
In Louisville. Last month, they went to state and placed 35th out of 106. This is the first time for the team to make it to nationals. They are leaving on the 11th and shooting on the 12th. So if you see anybody from the archery team, wish them luck and safe travels.
We need to take a quick break, but stay tuned.
We have another look into the life of Tim McGrath, some cute pets to look at, and more right here on LakerTV.
Of the week. This is where I, your host, Chesley Nance, bring you ridiculous news that has happened in the past week or so. Time to get spoopy. Okay, I was confused, so. No time for an intro, only time for weirdness. Pepperoni and seagulls. What could go wrong? This guy filled an entire suitcase full of pepperonis and laid it out on a hotel window ledge so it could stay cool. First mistake, and left the room. Second mistake. He came back and there was around 40 seagulls just munching on sausages and all trying to get out the window at once, with pepperoni going everywhere. And then there was one who wouldn't leave, so he chased it around, caught it, and threw it out the window into the hotel's afternoon high tea and got banned for life. This one really isn't weird as much as it is cute, but these emperor penguins took an amazing video. It was already rolling, but the penguins did make one of the cutest videos I've ever seen. I mean, just look at it. Their belly's shaking and the noises, so cute. They could come film for me, honestly. I'd be completely okay with it. We all love fluffy, overweight pandas, right? This little guy was a bit heavier than him or his friend had expected. When his friend was climbing up the tree, he was just a bit behind, and he got to a certain point making the tree snap in half, sending his friend flying down. Nobody was hurt, but it is really cute. For LakerTV and Weird News, I'm Chesley Nance.
Hey, Tim, can we talk about something real quick?
Sure. McGrath, you're late. Again.
So you'll do stuff for snacks, right?
Yeah?
Well, I need you to finish your package, and if you do a good job, you'll get some of that. Training Tim to do his job is like training a puppy to be good. You just give it a few treats and it'll be fine, I think. How's it coming?
Pretty good. I love those cats.
So you done yet?
Yeah?
Well, let's see it.
Like right now?
Yeah, right now.
Okay. Got one.
That was it?
Yeah.
That was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's the best thing I've ever seen him do.
Really?
Of course, it's the only thing I've ever seen him do.
I think I need to upgrade to a shot caller.
I love seeing all those pictures of your pets. If you want a picture of your pet to be shared on LakerTV next week, tweet us a picture at Calloway Live. Bonus points if it's an extra weird pet.
So some of you may have noticed the sticky notes on your lockers at the beginning of this week. Reporters Avery Jennings and Isaiah Bruce did some investigating to find out the reason behind these notes.
This is just one of the many notes students found on their lockers after coming back from spring break. Last year, Mr. Falwell suggested to the Harbor something he saw about how Henderson County High School put 2,500 post-it notes around the school to give the students and teachers some motivation. Lisa Hayes, Murray State interns, and some students and staff from Calloway spent their time writing and hanging up the notes to help create a positive environment and raise self-esteem.
So be sure to thank them for putting their time and effort into giving students a boost of confidence. For LakerTV, I'm Isaiah Bruce.
With the recent events of school shootings becoming a huge topic, many people are pointing fingers and looking somewhere to blame. While many say it's easy access to guns, others look toward a different direction. Reporter Raislyn Morris decided to take a look at the theory that video games may be influencing young minds to commit tragic acts.
What is it about video games we like? The amazing graphics, compelling gameplay and story? But what about the blood and gore? With the most recent Florida school shooting, government officials look somewhere to blame, and some say the violence in video games are partly to blame. According to the study of Harvard Health, many teens play video games up to 90%, as a matter of fact, and 66% of teens who play action video games contain violence. Lastly, 62% of teens play very violent video games. Parents of the teens say it has no effect on their child's demeanor. So it's safe to say a normal teen isn't necessarily affected by these violent video games. But what about a teen who is dealing with emotional unstable issues? For a teen who is not emotionally stable, viewing an action shooter for 5 or 6 hours may have some influence on how the teen behaves, according to the Harvard Health study. So maybe it's only circumstantial evidence that violent video games can influence a young person to do something unthinkable. So what do you guys think? Do video games influence young teens to commit crimes that they shouldn't? Or are they just for pure entertainment value?
Here's another perspective from Douglas Gentile, who has researched this issue. He's a psychology professor at Iowa State University. He says, "We don't know the answer because aggression is actually very complicated. No one single thing can cause it. And we've had school shootings. We point around at different things such as mental health or video games or poverty or whatever. And none of them is it by itself. He says it's when you put them all together that you could see video games being a factor. So would you avoid violent video games, reduce the risk? The answer is yes. But how much? We don't know."
He's a hard worker who's been balancing school and work for years and has already found himself a career. On today's episode of Every Laker Has a Story, Noah Rudolph and Jordan Lax bring us a CCHS senior who seems to have some of his life plans already figured out.
I started working at Culver's because I was looking for a part-time job when I was 15, and it wasn't exactly easy to do, not being 16 yet.
What do you spend your summer doing? Vacationing, watching TV, or do you work? Soon-to-be sophomore Daniel Wilcox sought out to earn his own paycheck.
It was one of the few places that would work kids during the summer, so I met with the owner and he agreed to working me on the weekends, so that's what I went with. Once I turned 16, I was able to move to the kitchen and use kitchen equipment and custard equipment, so once I was able to do that, I learned more positions, and it was from then on that I was actually promoted to shift leader. But back in junior year, when I had Algebra 2 and chemistry and all these classes in one semester, it was pretty hard to balance, but there was that time, that small fraction of time between school and work when I could finish most of it, and on my 10-minute break, there's time everywhere, you just got to know where to look.
Hello, Daniel has certainly invested much work, even despite being the oldest child and the trumpet section leader in the CCHS band. Now a senior, he looks to become a future owner of a local Culver's.
I'm actually taking business classes in college, and Culver's will be paying me to take business classes in college. So this is something I definitely want to continue.
With all that Daniel has learned from working at Culver's, he is now well prepared for what's to come.
I believe if you work during high school, you're going to be ahead of the people that didn't work in high school. I've learned honesty, a good sense of hard work, taking pride in where I work, and discipline.
LakerTV's very own Madison McCallum recently won first place at the state level in the video, film, and animation category. Here's a look at the animation titled Anaya. It was shown at the Kentucky Art Education Association art show. Congrats, Madison.
That's all we have for this week, Lakers. We hope you enjoyed.
For now, keep crushing it.